Okay. Hey guys, this is Zader. I'm just here with a little short commentary, pretty much talking about my channel and also the gameplay, footage that I'm recording and the games that I'm playing. So, to start, honestly, my channel's kind of all over the place because I'm recording walkthroughs with no audio, I'm recording walkthroughs with audio. I'm recording multiplayer games. So I really have a lot of content on my channel. But the reason why I have all this content on my channel is because I'm trying to find what works. So I'm primarily a PlayStation and PC gamer, but I don't really play a lot of PC games due to my internet being in and out. So I mostly play single player games that I either get for free or that I purchase because of interest, or free to play games like pretty much like any type of multiplayer games, Apex Legends, Call of Duty,
I
things like
smell
that.
it.
And usually that's on like
Time to get
PlayStation and what
close.
have you. Um, I'm not I'm not here just to rant, but I'm just trying to figure out what people want to watch. And the reason for me having so many different types of content on my channel is just because I'm trying to figure out what works. Okay. Now going from that, going into like a little review of the games that I'm currently playing right now. So on my channel, you're going to notice that I'm really playing three main games. I'm playing Yakuza, I'm playing Days Gone, and I'm playing Call of Duty. Now, what we're watching is Days Gone. So, what I really want to talk about is kind of the game itself, kind of like a little mini review. So, I've been playing it recently since I've gotten my PlayStation 5 to be exact, and it's a really great game. I should have got it when it was on PlayStation 4, but I wasn't thinking. I didn't think it would be this good, even though the review said it was good. It's kind of like at the time I was thinking it was The Last of Us copycat, which it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. I don't know which one came out first. I think The Last of Us came out first, but
Get
it's
in
a
there.
really fun game. Like the mechanics on it
Okay.
are spot on with most third-person shooters, where you can control camera movement. Aim's kind of floaty sometimes, but it really does feel good. Like the story, I throughout my playthrough, you'll notice that I make jokes about it, but just talking about overall gameplay, it's pretty decent. I don't like it when the aim is too snappy to where you can't really like. It just doesn't feel realistic. It feels like arcadey. It's not arcadey. It's kind of heavy aim, floaty aim. Kind of makes you precise in what you're doing as well. As precise as possible. But I really like it. When it comes to the story, I gotta say the story and the world building in this game is pretty hit or miss. I love the characters. Every single character is kind of interesting. Bruiser's interesting as like a little hothead, but you know, really cares about his friend, going through a lot of trials and tribulations with his friend, with having to deal with his arm,
Where's
and
the
eventually getting
best
his arm
killer
amputated
located?
after he gets attacked by the Rippers. The Rippers themselves being kind of like a cult that you have to fight against, during the apocalypse. Kind of social outcasts that are just attacking you at any angle. It's kind of like you have a main
Shit,
enemy to
almost out.
fight against. And I think it's really cool because I like going through the bases that they have set up in the game, because their bases are actually pretty interesting. Like the layout's pretty good. They're not that challenging, especially if you play like how I play. I play kind of slow and methodical, so I'm able to clear them pretty easily. But other than that, the bases are pretty cool. I like the design. I like how they're they're so entrenched in their beliefs that like they come off as crazy because in real life, you have people who can believe something that everyone else is just like, oh, it's kind of weird, but it's realistic. I should say, it's realistic without picking on one group in particular.
Nothing.
Um, and then you kind of have like these little marauders, like these little ambush camps, like the that I'm fighting right now and looting. Like these guys, they just
Don't
pop
run
up out of
off.
nowhere. Sometimes they'll snipe you off your bike while you're just riding, which is another thing. It's like you're never really safe, and they made the game so that you don't feel safe, and I kind of like it because you're always adapting to the environment. So you'll have the rippers in one group where you kind of have to go to their areas in order to encounter them. And then you have the marauders, which are like normal people who are trying to survive just like you are, and they attack you just randomly out of the blue. They have little ambush camps that you can raid as well and kind of take them out.
Could pick something
And
up
the
on
best
this.
part about it is it clears the map for you, so there's a place where you can get resources, gas, sleep, to avoid all the craziness. So it's kind of like the outside characters are great. The only character that I'm really having a problem with is Deacon himself. I get he's supposed to be the. See, it's kind of hard to really put him in a box, and I think that's kind of my problem because half the time he wants to have a heart and be helpful. Half the time he's just yelling at everybody, getting a bad attitude over seemingly nothing. Like he just is just bipolar all of a sudden. Like whenever he talks about anything dealing with the Nero choppers and his wife, which is another rabbit hole, he starts freaking out, and it's just strange because he just seems like a bipolar character to me. One second he's cool, calm, collected. The next second he's flying off the handle with his friends and random people he meets. And he always wants to he
These.
always wants to raid areas and like kill everybody, which is just like, okay, I get that's what the character's supposed to do, but it's kind of weird at the same point. So him as a character, it's just like something's off. If they kind of made him less angry for no reason, or angry for a reason but overdone, then I think everything would kind of mesh well. So the world building in general, great. The gameplay, fantastic. I love third person open world games. It's,
This
it's
was it.
it's really awesome. I've been playing, like I said,
Which
Yakuza,
way?
and I really enjoy that game for the same reason. Um, combat, combat's clean. You just have to get the perks in order to actually progress in combat and things like that. Which I understand. You're supposed to slowly become a force to be reckoned with instead of being like the Doom guy in like 1 minute.
Gotta take a
You
closer
have to
look.
you have to slowly build your character up, which is kind of what they're doing with his character as well. Because it's like he's becoming less
What do we got?
psychotic the more that you play, but it's still like
There
it
you
just
are.
threw me off when I first started playing the game, where he just get angry out of nowhere. So beyond that, the character building, the combat, I'm gonna talk about the storylines. The storylines. So
Easy.
the storyline of this game is going north for him to find his wife because
What the hell? Shit.
his wife
Oh god, get back
somehow,
here. I gotta find the
some
key.
way,
Can't let
got
him see me.
lost or moved out of the little survivor camp or whatever type of camp that they had set up for survivors of the outbreak. And the outbreak being obviously the zombie apocalypse, and the whole world goes to you know
That did it.
the world gets crazy, right? Which is like, okay, great premise. Love zombie games. Love this kind of outlook on life is kind of realistic still, kind of like The Walking Dead before it started getting campy. I guess it's realistic. You're fighting for resources, things like that, and he's just trying to find his wife. Cool, got it. Game simple. Now, how they go about it is you're with your brother from a biking club, biking gang, right? You're flying your colors, um, and you're surviving with your buddy. Like that's your ride or die, and you're trying to find him because instead of going with his wife to the camp because she got oh, I jumped the gun. So the beginning of the game starts with you obviously you meet your wife, you get married, things of that nature. The whole world's going to crap. She gets stabbed because she tries to help a kid who she thought was just a kid, but the kid actually had the virus, like short term amount of the virus in them. So she gets stabbed because the kid's freaking out, obviously, because the kid knows it's probably dead, or just knows that something's definitely wrong. And you have to send your wife into the chopper to get help, go to the hospital, something, go to a camp. Turns out the camp that she went to was overrun by zombies. Great. You go to that camp, you see it's overrun by zombies, but you don't see her body anywhere. Right? So now you're stuck in this wilderness. You're riding, just surviving. He doesn't really leave the area, but he always wants to go north, right? And he keeps getting in encounters with random people. And then he finally finds one of the Nero choppers. So Nero's being like their version of, I don't know, FEMA or some type of government entity that's supposed to be researchers and help people in general. So that happens. And pretty much he meets the person who evacuated his wife, or he at least, he pretty much encounters the person who evacuated his wife. After he encounters him, he realizes that his wife still may be alive, and then he's pretty much going on a wild goose chase or wild goose hunt to find his wife. Great story so far. I haven't really gotten to the end, so this is again like a little midway review. Story's great. The problem is, it seems as though they make him seem like the bad guy because he wants to find his wife instead of just dealing with the fact that his wife's gone forever and he should move on. I'm kind of like, regardless of which decision he chooses, it makes sense. I mean, yes, you have to accept the realities of what's going on right now, but the man's still married and his wife still might be alive. Y'all acting like it's crazy that he wants to still think his wife is alive when he's alive. But the game keeps like making these decisions and has all these characters that react negatively towards him wanting to find his wife, which just doesn't make sense to me. Let the man believe that his wife's still out there and let him try to find her, as long as it's not like a hindrance to y'all. But they're just hating. They're just mad with him. Like he should move on. And the crazy thing is, if he does move on, that, in my opinion, that's not a bad decision either. But why is it bad that he doesn't? Like, it's none of your business. Let him do his thing. But that's besides the point. But overall, I really enjoyed the game. I love the setting. Pacific Northwest is just beautiful. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so I'm like, this is the accurate representation of like small cities, countryside, atmosphere, and just pretty much like the whole geography is accurate and makes sense. The only thing that I'm not seeing a lot of is like rain. That's the only thing I think they need to add. It would rain a whole lot more than what it is, and it would be a whole lot colder. than what it is. Now, obviously, they probably have this in like the summer or the springtime, but you would definitely see more rain than what they show in the game.
Ah, that's right. I
But I
gotta
guess if the
finish
whole
burning
game
up
was
this
just
infestation
constantly
zone.
raining, that would kind of throw people off. But yeah, just a little short review of the whole game in general. I'm loving it so far. I'm really enjoying this game. I'm happy. In a way, I'm happy I didn't buy it because I'm able to enjoy it now that I'm a little bit older and I can appreciate, especially with all the media that's out here, like The Last of Us on HBO and The Walking Dead before it got bad, and other shows that
I'll
deal with
come
this
back
type of
later when I finish burning out these nests.
apocalypse through virus situation, especially with what we went through, even though it wasn't an apocalypse through virus, but just the reality of the whole situation. It's just a better game. So yeah, that was my little mini review and a little mini explanation of why my content on my channel is like all over the place if you're coming from the outside looking in. But if you sat through this whole thing, thank you for listening. And I'm looking forward to having y'all come back and watch more content from my channel. Thank you.